It's 8:15, guys, on April the 17th. You know what that means, tax day. So if you have not filed, you still can do an extension if October suits your needs a little bit better. And next year, the impact of President Trump's tax law will be more apparent as well. That's when the new rules are going to kick in. So that also includes a standard deduction, nearly double what it was this year. So in case you have questions, you should always seek out a legal expert, which is what we have done this year. Something else that if you're considering is divorce. I know a lot of people may not want to talk about it, but for some people it's inevitable, and you need to know the tax laws that surround that, whether you're getting a divorce. And for more than 70 years, a divorced spouse paying alimony has been able to claim a tax deduction for those payments, while other spouses pay taxes on the money received. We decided to bring in an expert this morning to help us break it all down, and David DuFault is an attorney with Sodoma Law to help us out. David, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
I know estate planning is kind of your wheelhouse, but when it comes to the splitting up of things, and I'm even talking marriages, there are some things that you need to think about before that day actually happens, right? What are some things that you need to think about?
Well, if you've got a family, if there are children, there are tax implications. Under the new law, there's going to be some changes as to how taxes are going to be applied to families. Currently, with the taxes that are being filed today, parents and individuals were allowed to claim personal exemptions. Those disappear under the new tax law. So the deductions that you would take for yourself or for your children are no longer going to be there. To maybe offset that, they have increased the child tax credit. So for parents that have qualifying children, they'll be able to take a larger credit in 2018 for the taxes for 2018. And another thing that will be helpful is that credit will be, a larger portion of that credit will be refundable. So next year when we're on tax day, it may be that some families are able to get a bigger refund because the child tax credit has a larger component that is refundable.
For families that have more than one child, are there sometimes, if you have a divorced couple, where one parent may claim one child, another parent claim another child?
Yes, under the current law, that's pretty common. Sometimes they will alternate years. Again, next year, those exemptions for claiming of the child are not going to be part of your tax return.
That's going to go away. What about college education? Is there anything that we need to think about in that area?
So in terms of actual college costs, the 529 plans that most people are familiar with, those have not changed. What has changed is what qualified higher education costs constitute for 2018. In 2018 and going forward, you'll be able to use elementary and secondary tuition costs. So private high schools, private middle schools, you'll be able to use your 529 plan up to $10,000 per child.
Before we run out of time, mortgage deductions, how does that kind of play into this, especially for a family maybe going through a divorce? So
mortgage deduction interest will still be deductible. There is going to be a cap in 2018. It's only interest up to $750,000 of acquisition indebtedness. Also for 2018 going forward, home equity loan interest will no longer be deductible, whereas today it is.
There we go. I hope you guys at home were sharpening your pencils and taking some notes. And if you missed it all, it'll be on our website a little bit later on this morning. David DuFault with Sodoma Law. Thanks for coming in, David. Appreciate that, clearing it up. Get an expert. All right, if all this was over your head and you were lost from the minute we started, grab an expert, and David and the folks at Sodoma Law will help you out. Guys, there are some school closings and delays because of weather. Take a look at those. We'll be right back with more of Good Day Charlotte.